Hi and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. Okay, this is Mailbag, common feature of the channel. It's where I attempt to answer questions that you guys have left on the channel, or if I can't answer them, I have a good go at answering them, or I throw them out to the wider tubing community to try and answer on behalf of somebody who's raised the question. Now, we'll get into this mailbag. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. This next question comes from Don Devore. Hi Don, how you doing? Haven't heard from you for a while. And it's in response to what audio does the M1 receive from the TR-8? I can attest to Tom's plight video I did in May 2021. And Don writes, I have a TR-8 and MX-1 setup. USB output on the TR-8 is connected to the USB 1 on the MX-1. Bass drum and snare are on outputs A and B going into channels 3 and 4 on the MX-1. This gives me individual bass drum and snare channels and a stereo mix of the hats percussion on the USB channel. That I can effectively separate with MX-1 effects. USB transmits the MIDI clock for syncing to the unit. MX-1 or DAW controls clock tempo via MIDI input. This is my live setup, and I've just done a video, I have to be honest, about frequently asked questions, and this is exactly the frequently asked questions that's been answered in one of those videos. So go check it out. I will put a link to that particular video below this one. If you want to separate the outputs on the USB, go to the computer. You need to run the USB directly to the computer from the TR-8, not through the input MX-1. As far as I know, you can also use the 4 analog inputs on the TR-8 connected to the inputs on the inputs 1, 2, 3 and 4 on the MX-1. You can set the individual levels, panning within the TR-8 for each instrument, and also with the MX-1 input gain to get a good mix from the TR-8. I love playing it live and using the glitch effects on the stereo mix, but having the bass drum and snare unaffected. But also add some EQ or filtering, run the snare and claps together. Reverb and delay effects on the USB stereo output makes it easy to mix and mute the kick and snare, or apply effects and filtering to the hats and percussion. Endless fun to be had there. For recording into a DAW, I solo each drum sound, pan them to discrete outputs and record 2 or 4 tracks at once, and then record multiple passes to multi-track each drum on a track, or just connect USB direct to the computer and get raw drum sounds on channel 14. On the 14 channels from the TR-8. But I like to process sounds on the way into the DAW. Hope this helps. So Don, I think, you know, I'm going to go through what the answer is. I have a very short answer, but since I've just done a video on this, because this question gets asked so many times, you know, can you record? What happens if you run the TR-8 through your USB? What audio channels are presented to your DAW? And you've just reinforced the video that I did, which is the answer is 2. Okay, the TR-8 presents 2 channels to the DAW, unless you go down the setup that Don has just described. So what Don is saying, in essence, is that he assigns on the TR-8 instruments to the A and B channels, in this particular case the drum and the snare, routes them into inputs 1 through 4 on his MX-1, and that then gives him a unique ability to actually throw those channels down to 0 while he's working, so you can take out the drum or the snare and bring them back in individually without affecting what's happening with, say, the hi-hat or the clap or the cowbell or one of the other effects or one of the other instruments on the TR-8. So if you what basically that's what the video is all about. It's all about talking about this. As I say, it gets asked so many times by you guys on the channel that I thought I would just sit down and do that particular video. I've got a couple of other, well, quite a few other videos to do on the MX-1 because it is such an understood machine. What it was, I don't think Roland really understood what they were making the machine for, and therefore the community that's grown up around the MX-1 really doesn't understand what this machine is capable of or designed for. And I think that's where it's gone completely wrong with the MX-1. And that's why I keep saying to Roland, where is the MX-2? Because I think they need to correct, I don't think they can correct the problems with the MX-1 as it currently lives. You know, I think the things like, what's the word I'm looking for? Class compliancy. I don't think that can be done with the current chipset on the MX-1. It probably needs a different design for the chipset. I think they need to put in more USB sockets and possibly more powered USB sockets to deal with the boutiques. All right, the boutiques being powered via the USB cable or by batteries is, frankly, Roland, bonkers. And you haven't changed your stance on this. You know, you just introduced 2 new boutiques to the boutique range just before Christmas 2021. And both of them still have the DAF speaker and the batteries. You know, you're effectively giving us a piece of studio equipment that you're treating like a toy. And stop it. You know, musicians out there need musician grade instruments, not things that are toys. Anyway, the way I responded to this was very simple, rather than the rant that I've just gone on. This is a great response to this question. So thank you very much, Don, for providing that response to help other tubers who watch the channel, all 3 of you. And it also puts this issue into a real world context. You are out there, you are playing live, and this is what your experience is. So I hope for others that have these MX-1 questions, this is another answer that you can put into your knowledge repository and say, this is how the MX-1 does it.